Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune into Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
No Big Ten football?
Doesn't look like it. Joe, they must be getting some information on what's going to happen this fall that we don't have, don't you think, about how this thing's going to get worse when the flu season meets the still strong COVID or something? Because to pull the plug right now on all four sports, when a lot of other things are opening up and they're competing and everything. The other possibility is they just realize that it's it's non-productive to play in front of empty arenas. That doesn't, play in front of empty stadiums. They want to play when Ohio State can at least put 50,000 people in their stadium instead of 80 or 90. What sense is there in the Gophers playing a football season and they have the state telling them they can put 1,500 people in there? You know? So I don't know what it is, but I got to think they're getting bad information.
Well,
I mean, not bad information in the fact they're getting bad information, but the fact they're telling them it's going to be bad.
Well, I don't know if this is going to help or hurt the cause, but 27 minutes ago, the president tweeted the following: "Play college football with an exclamation point."
All right, here's what a sportsman.
All right, well,
see, he's got it backwards though. Again, if he had tweeted, absolutely every single major college should not play football this fall, they would all open and play football.
That's true. Yep. But the SEC, baby, they aren't giving up yet.
No.
They might have their own championship. Call it the Fauci Cup or something and play for it. And but, I mean, they got a team in Texas where they're getting the crap kicked out of them by this thing. And Louisiana's been awful from the get-go. But you think they're going to tell the defending national champion Bayou Bengals not to play again this year?
No.
So I don't know what's going to happen. But the Big Ten, I don't trust Kevin Warren, by the way, the new commissioner, former president of the Vikings. I think he wants to be a big leader of college sports and very concerned and that kind of guy. So I think he's probably pushing the league towards this. Although the university, it sounds like the presidents had a 2-day meeting apparently, and they must have decided to shut her down. So
what's with smaller conferences like MIAC? Are they playing?
MIAC is going to try to play next spring, probably a 5-game schedule. But I did a piece on it. St. John's has not given up on the idea that come next April or so that they can play that last ever game against the Tommies in U.S. Bank Stadium with a crowd. So,
oh boy!
Wow.
But I think that's a very long shot that would happen.
Say, I meant to ask you this. Every time I watch the Twins, no matter where they are, there are people in the stands.
No.
Are those employees?
No, those are cardboard cutouts.
No. I'm not that stupid.
One of them was a weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, there are a few employees and a few.
I know that. Yeah, Pat. I think a
friends.
giant Fauci head was
Why does
a
everybody have
person
big
in the
heads?
stands.
Well, I thought maybe you were across the room.
No.
I thought maybe you were across the room.
Yeah, across the room.
Hey, how you doing over there?
Okay, I'm glad.
Look at all those fat people
When
at
did
the
Kirby
game.
Puckett get back? How's he at Target Field?
Holy cow,
What a
Puck's made an
promotion.
amazing recovery. His vision is back and he's no longer dead. That's amazing. Yeah, okay.
No, I see people in the
there are a
stands.
few. Well,
Yeah.
it was like golf yesterday. There was suddenly finally some. Who were these people cheering?
Well, there were smatterings of applause. I don't know who they
how
were.
Did they get in there?
Were they the workers?
I don't know. Somebody climbing over the fence or something there.
I tell you that every year, I've told you this before, every year I pick 5 guys who've never won a major.
Yeah, this kid.
And then I put out, I predict one of these 5 guys is going to win a major this year. I'm not saying which major. But I've traditionally, for the past couple of years, I've used Fowler, Fleetwood, and Finau. They're now off my list. I don't think any of them will ever win a major.
I thought Finau played really good yesterday, though.
Yeah. But what would have happened if he got within 10 feet of the winning putt?
Yeah, well, that's true.
Fowler didn't even make the cut, and Fleetwood fell into the lower half of the field.
Fleetwood can disappear in that 4th round.
Yes, he can.
Wasn't he in like the second group or
yes,
third?
Yes,
something like that. Yeah.
That course freaked me out, man. I thought it was spooky.
I thought it was spooky.
It looked like a Halloween course to me.
I loved it, though, with the big old cypress trees and the fog.
I like that.
They were kind of haunting.
Well, one reason it worked is because the ball does not. I mean, they still hit at 340 once in a while if they really stepped on it. But the ball does not carry in that heavy air. It was cold and... What was it, like 61 degrees or something, right?
The Olympic Club is directly across the street.
Yes, yeah. When I left the Olympic Club, when I took my game to that golf course and was soundly defeated.
How was your game at that time?
Soundly defeated. You drive on that Skyline Drive, and down below on Lake Merced is that other golf course, and it looks. I think that was so long ago. It was before the 2003 restoration. And but boy, I like it because it's man, the secret of controlling these guys from absolutely destroying your course is if you miss a fairway, you pay for it, right? And that rough was nasty.
DeChambeau looks like Popeye.
I know it's
freaky. I don't like it. I agree.
Plus, you throw in the stiff swing that he wants to do intentionally. This every movement is mechanical, and it's spooky, man. I find myself rooting against him just because I don't. I don't like the way he looks.
He's
I don't
Mongo.
like the way he sings the club. He is Mongo.
He's Mongo. He's breaking his own clubs, not out of anger, but because he's Mongo. Oh, broke another club.
Mongo only pawn in Game of Life.
It is amazing, though, when he gets his 275 brick outhouse body into one and where he hits the damn thing. He hits it 12 miles up in the air and it stays there for a month.
Mm-hmm.
But
how about the trophy? When he puts the trophy up and the top falls off. Did you see that after?
No.
He held up the
that
trophy.
wasn't him. He didn't win.
No. The what's his name? Chris.
Colin Morikawa.
Colin
Morikawa.
Yeah. He held up the trophy and the top went flying off.
I predict he'll win another major or two.
Oh God,
What can he play?
He can play, and he won Jack's event less than a month ago, right?
Yeah, that's
right. Memorial.
Yeah.
And that apparently that shot he hit on 16 was kind of made for him. Because he's got that fade that his natural swing is a fade, and they basically said how that hole was set up for him. But man, alive, he went right around that corner there and 7 feet. Let's go.
I'm not prepared to say Eldrick is done, but because he won the Masters last year, we thought we would never see that again. But he doesn't look comfortable, does he?
He's done on golf courses like that where you got to hit it straight.
Yeah.
He cannot hit it straight for 72 holes. He misses. I mean, the first day he made 120 feet of putts or something, and that's how he shot 68. He hit 4 fairways or something the first day and shot 68.
Is he a guy that'll just keep playing on the tour as long as?
Well, yeah. I mean, he'll play in the major events. He hasn't. One of his problems now is he hasn't played hardly at all this year. I mean, a lot of them haven't played, but he didn't go back out and start playing when they started playing again. So, how many plays was this his 4th event, Joe? I think.
I'm not sure it was even his 4th.
He played at Jack's event, and he played this one, and
I think this was his 2nd event.
But the reason he can win at Augusta is there's no rough. He missed the fairway. You're sitting in an inch of rust. Unless you hit it far enough offline to get behind a tree,
Yeah.
He's not gonna. Every time you miss the fairway at that golf course, you were probably gonna make bogey, and at Augusta, if you miss the fairway, you can make birdie.
Yeah.
So,
What's with your ball club, Patrick?
They signed 4 guys. They brought in 4 guys who were in their mid-30s or older, and 3 of them are broken down like a couple of old sports talk hosts, man.
Yeah.
Only one of Maeda is the only one. And by the way, we had to slip him an extra day's rest for, if Rocco was the head of a factory, right?
Yeah.
Let's say a factory, Ford, the Ford factory, the main Ford factory.
Right.
They would all be getting like 3 days off a week. It cost them millions, man.
Yeah.
It cost them millions because
you're saying,
Bill looks a little tired. He's worked 2 days in a row. Stay home, Bill.
so they would all have that Joe Souchere 1500 ESPN summer schedule.
Yes, right. They would all have summer hours like we had in the grueling Monday Night Sports Talk when we reduced it from 2 hours to 1.5.
Summer hours.
He believes in summer hours, but Donaldson, God Almighty, 2018, or 2017 and 18, he had that calf problem. 18, he missed damn near the whole year. 19, he stayed healthy. He had a great year for Atlanta. They signed him on that, but now it's, I don't know, him having a bad calf. Apparently, he's like Fuzzy Zeller having a bad back when it snapped, when it rose up. He might not play this year.
Well, and plus, not to mention, and he might have been hurt all along, but he wasn't even that great before he got hurt.
Well, 5-6 games is a little hard to tell. How you like Miguel, Joe?
Well,
Who was you used to go to Little League. We talked about Little League baseball the other day, and saw your kids playing. The kid who struck out every time he batted.
Yeah.
That's Miguel.
Yeah.
He's now 45 at bats, 23 strikeouts.
Isn't that something?
Over 50%.
You're comparing me to Miguel Sano. I take that compliment. Thank you.
That's right. Except he looks to me like he beefed up a little during the
pandemic.
The pandemic. He's not as enormous as he was at the start of last year when his face was, he had this giant face. But he's not as good a shape as he was this spring. That's for sure.
Where's my guy that we all love to watch run the bases because he was just a mess and his hat had fall off and. No. Who am I thinking of? The guy last year. Big, tubby guy.
Willens Astudillo.
Astudillo, where is he?
He tested positive for COVID. Him and Miguel Sano. By the way, that was an exacta that paid $2.10. Those were your two favorites. And
wait, what about Eddie? Wouldn't Eddie have been a favorite?
He would have been a third stringer. Yeah, he would have been the third choice. If it was a trifecta, you would have had Eddie.
Well, is Williams done for the year?
Well, we don't know. They sent him. I don't know if he's over in St. Paul working out or if they shut him down or what. No updates on what's going on with him. But Joe, 28 players right now.
Yeah.
16 pitchers.
Yeah.
The hell with them. I hope they never win another game.
Calvin wouldn't go for this.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I told Reavers earlier today, 1 year, they used to, in April, early years the Twins were here, the baseball rules were you could keep 28 players in April because the pitchers, the idea being keep extra pitchers. 1 year, Calvin was so worried about his pitchers getting too much work, he had 9 pitchers and 19 position players in April. And now we're going to have 19 pitchers and 9 position players before these idiots are done.
Mm-hmm. At Milwaukee tonight.
Lou Thorpe has embarrassed the entire continent of Australia, and he still can't get knocked off the team. Mm-hmm. Milwaukee tonight, and the Brewer, much like the Royals, who weren't scoring any runs, and then right before the Twins got there, they scored 13 against the Cubs, and then played good. The Brewers weren't scoring any runs, and I think they got 9 or 10 yesterday and beat Cincinnati bad. Yeah. So maybe they're warming up just in time. But we got Dobnik, our savior, tonight. So right?
He's the stopper now.
He is. He's a great story, Joe. This guy is.
Those photos of him as a kid at PNC were pretty cool last week.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was a huge Pirates fan growing up.
Alderson Broadus College in West Virginia Hills, man.
Ooh.
Yeah. A Division II college, and his dad is a little bit blue collar. I talked to his dad last year. Apparently, the Strib had kind of a companion deal on their internet while the game was going on. He pitched last time. They had family members on for an hour telling stories about him while the game was going on.
Oh, really?
And he pitched good too. So, anyway, I don't know. They aren't hitting, and they're not real good in the field, and I don't know. And they're just, a week ago they were going to the World Series. Mm-hmm. The Wild had won the first one 3-0. They were going to the Stanley Cup Finals. The Loons couldn't. They were just beating teams bloody. And
what about the Lynx?
And Gopher football was getting ready to go to the Rose Bowl. Yep. And the Lynx are
the Lynx.
Yeah, the Lynx are. They exist. But and a week later, we stinks.
We do. We all stinks.
I think that the absence of fans is very meaningful.
I do too.
It has changed the dynamic of the experience.
It reduces urgency of the athletes, I believe.
Well, that and the presence of fans makes a major league sporting event a news item because you never know what might happen.
Yes.
And now it's almost like watching them intramurally. I don't know how to phrase it. But
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. It's just different. It's so different.
The great Ray Fitzgerald from the Boston Globe, who died young at 56 or 7. But he was a columnist there, and sort of the mentor to the great Lee Montville.
Right.
And Ray Fitzgerald's the line I remember is, "Sports are important because there are people there."
That's right.
When people who say you're in the toy department.
Right.
And, we're not because there's people there. And now there's no people there.
Right.
So
it seems less like a news item than it does with fans. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think you're right.
It seems less newsworthy. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say.
Yes. And
can you imagine the NFL without fans? I can't.
Yeah, well, they're going to... I don't know what
find out.
They're gonna play. They're not gonna, they'll. Judd and I were talking earlier today. Judd said if someone does die from the COVID, one of their players, they will have a moment of silence before they kick off.
Yes.
They played the weekend JFK got killed.
Yeah, they did. And then didn't Rozelle always say that was the biggest mistake he ever
Yep.
made?
Yes, he did.
And he was right about that. But
and
that was before TV would take anything they could get. So
right.
What'd you think of the Wild?
Did you watch any, Joe? Did you end up caving and watching any?
No, because
didn't?
I'm not waiting up till midnight to watch a hockey game.
It was worse than that. I think the overtime game was like 1 a.m. wasn't it?
I almost made it. It was because it was Friday night.
I didn't. That game ended about the time I'm getting up to take my middle of the night whiz, for goodness sakes.
Matthew was out east, and they found it out east right at the end of regulation. So with 30 seconds of regular, like, all right, so they had to go through all the, in between, and then they all get settled in. It's about 1 or whatever, 11 seconds in.
I didn't see it. What happened? The guy just fired from the point and went in, or
Got
what?
it, and boom, he went right just
did he walk
legs.
into the net, or what? Did he? Where did he shoot it from?
I think it was he didn't go right up. I'm gonna pull it up.
Well, so you're saying that, Joe? What you're saying is afternoon playoff hockey in the middle of August didn't do a whole lot for you.
It really didn't.
And by the way, they originally told us these weren't playoff games because you had to get in the 16 to be in the playoffs. And then they declared, so we now are going to have the Wild. Next year you'll be writing, the Wild, who have made the playoffs 6 of the last 7 years.
Right.
If you don't finish in the top 16, By the way, how about all the lower seeds that beat the higher seeds? It was the Wild were I think the Wild were the only one in the West that was a lower seed that didn't win, right? Weren't they?
I'll tell you what, though, I love that primetime golf when they're on the West Coast.
Oh, God, I do.
God, I love that.
I hadn't watched a lot of golf since they returned, but I watched about 5 hours yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of gets on my nerves to have that many leaders, though, doesn't it?
Oh, my word.
I don't want to have to keep track of 8, 9 guys.
Yeah.
You know what's also kind of fun? When Tiger's not in it, you don't have to see every shot Tiger is taking or every time he's contemplating anything. You can watch the guys who are actually going to win the tournament.
Right.
10 scored just from the point. They put it deep in the zone. Somebody shot it back out to him, and he just won. Boom, right through.
So where'd it go? Which hole?
It was upper corner.
Upper right. So 1, 2.
That's a 5, isn't
That's
it?
a 5-hole, right?
It's a 5-holer.
Over on the right shoulder. That's
Now,
the 5-holer.
do they remain in the bubble or are they dismissed?
No, they're home.
They're at
home.
the lake.
They're at the lake?
In fact, today I saw the kid from Russia made his way back to the Twin Cities. Kaprizov or Kaprizov or whatever we're calling him now.
He finally showed up.
He finally got here. He got his
Who's
visa.
the number 1 draft pick? Does he have a French name?
Oh, who
Canadian
will
kid?
be? There's some hotshot Canadian
He's
kid.
supposed to be better than Crosby or of that level.
Ooh, so we want to win that one, huh?
You got a 14% chance now.
14% chance, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't
what
they?
the hell?
Isn't that today? Aren't they deciding that? Isn't the lottery today for the NHL?
I don't know.
Oh.
Well, how the hell would we know?
When does the next season start? Do we know that?
No, but a lot of people think January 1 or something.
Oh, jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Well, of course, again, what difference does
NBA's
it make
gonna
if there's no fans?
NBA is probably going to start December 25th.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I got to tell you something. I'm a big believer in the New York Times. I think they do I think it's a great newspaper.
I loathe that paper. I loathe it.
Well, the effort they put into, however, putting out a publication is amazing. They still go places and do things, right?
Yeah.
They got European correspondents, and you pick it up on Sunday, and they might have a sports writer in Norway covering scuba diving or some damn thing. I mean, they do these great old pieces that Sports Illustrated used to do, right? But I can't believe that Donald Trump had people checking to see if he could get on Mount Rushmore.
Well,
I'm sorry. I think I cannot back the New York Times on this scoop. He's a mentally disturbed narcissist. We can all agree on that. Even the Trump supporters got to admit that he's a crazed narcissist. But no, it did not happen unless it was at a cocktail party and somebody from the White House said, yeah, I suppose Trump wants to get his head on the Mount, right? This could not have been a serious suggestion.
He said he denies that his people ever made these efforts to see if he could get on the mountain. But he said, I think it sounds like a really good idea.
Well, then he's saying, I'll give him credit for that. He's agitated.
You know what he
that.
should do? He should take the photo of Mount Rushmore and then take out the Sharpie and just draw his face.
Throw that little line. Draw that little line at the hurricane coming right here.
Right.
Draw the
I'm still
hurricane.
trying to figure out why he changed the course of a hurricane.
Because he said it was threatening Alabama, and everybody says, no,
No,
it's
it is.
not.
He said, yes,
it
it is.
is. Look, right
Look
here.
at I drew it with my
Little
Sharpie.
lines here.
It's got to be exhausting for him to spend so much time.
Covering his tracks.
No, to spend so much time worried about stuff that doesn't mean a damn thing.
Oh, I think it's
away at
fun.
him,
I
too.
think it's fun, isn't it? Come on.
Well, I think it's
Well, the
fun.
entertainment value is
It's-
undeniable.
yes, but the fact that, okay, they're making fun of me for, you should make fun of the media for making a big deal about you saying Alabama might get hit by, you should be saying, yeah, okay, I screwed up. Who cares? Is it going to harm Alabama if they're being cautious here? No, but he can't do that. He's got to be right.
But, Joe, you missed it. We did get the deep Royce belly laugh when he saw the headline of the Mount Rushmore.
I hadn't seen it.
Yeah, it was.
I hadn't seen it.
I throw them up there and say some were better than others. You know?
When he appeared in the hills over
Yes.
the 4th of July,
Yeah.
the governor, Kristi Noem?
No, yep.
Kind of a babe, by the way.
She gave him a replica of the mountain with him on
With
there.
his head on.
I think
there.
that's where it started.
That's probably did. Okay.
Okay.
When is this Sturgis?
Right
You're
now.
in it right now,
Right
baby.
now?
You're in it right now.
In fact, the group Smash Mouth performed when they said, bleep this COVID bleep, we're playing anyway. And now they're being canceled, the group
Oh,
Smash
around the
Mouth.
country?
Oh, yeah. They're very upset with
Who
Smash
is Smash Mouth? What do
I
they
didn't know
play?
they still existed.
Somebody once told me.
No.
You know when you've watched Shrek 8,000 times with the grandkids,
Shrek.
that's one of the songs.
Oh, okay.
Walking on the sun.
Not a big.
walking on the
Not
sun.
a big.
breaking down
I
Smash
don't
Mouth.
watch Shrek.
They're right next to Shakira.
I watch the Minions. If the
Shakira.
Minions are on, I'll watch the Minions.
You know what Pat would
I
love,
like
you guys?
Gru. I like Gru.
Yeah.
Pat, you would love these two brothers. They're brothers in Gary, Indiana, who are creating a success for themselves on a YouTube channel, filming themselves reacting to songs they've never heard before. Stuff like by Dolly Parton, the Carpenters, Phil Collins. And they are charming as hell, and it's hilarious
Now,
to
do
watch
they
these
like,
kids.
some of them they like and some of them they hate, or what?
They're not dismissive. The one I got the biggest kick out of was "In the Air Tonight" by Genesis or Phil Collins.
Oh, yeah.
and
that'll
they
drive you nuts.
Oh, sure, but they didn't let it drive them nuts.
Mm-hmm.
They just have more fun doing this. It's just amazing to watch them. It's really
What
hilarious.
the internet should be.
Yeah.
Really?
Alexis Lafreniere is the pick I think you're thinking about, Joe.
Oh yeah.
And
He's
their
supposed to be pretty good.
Their YouTube channel, Pat, is called Twins the New Thread. Is their and they reacted to Jolene by Dolly Parton and stuff. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. In fact, they reacted to one guy that they didn't realize was white. And they went, damn! he's white."
You know what I discovered yesterday that I had no idea? Cameron Champ is biracial.
I didn't know that.
Cameron Champ. Grandpa was his guy that got him into golf.
Okay.
And Grandpa died, I think he won last year, right? He won an event, and then Grandpa died. His father put Grandpa on the phone on the 18th green,
Yep.
and the kid was crying because this was his guy, and Grandpa died about 4 days later or something, and then his dad. But Grandpa was black and married to a white gal,
Okay.
and then Dad is black and married to a white girl, and Cameron. Those the white maternity genes have been very strong, but he's his grandpa and he won like some kind of Charlie Sifford award or something, or he got an invitation, the Charlie Sifford invitation to the LA Open or something. So he'll hit it a ways.
Where is the U.S. Open this year? Whistling?
No,
Where is it?
Aaron, it's not Aaron Hills, is it? Where is it? I don't know.
Right now.
Get up,
I
Rick.
don't know. I know.
Isn't that the next major?
Yes, but it's not Aaron Hills in New York. In
Is the
Wisconsin,
British
is it?
Open canceled?
being
It's
played.
at Wingfoot.
Wingfoot,
Oh,
that's
Wingfoot,
right.
okay.
Wingfoot.
You and I
co-
both covered U.S. Opens at Wingfoot.
I covered Hale Irwin's victory there in 1974.
I covered the one where he got beat in, was it 84, 10 years later when Fuzzy won it, right? Fuzzy beat him in the playoff, right? On Saturday. And that was when I first saw taunting on a golf course.
Yeah, play
was
white
it?
balls.
New York, he was playing a yellow ball back then when everybody was using the colored
Okay.
balls.
Yep.
And on Saturday, these college students got out there and they were full of beer and they started chanting at him, "Play white balls, play white balls," and they could see it got to
Oh, it
him.
got to him.
So then they wouldn't shut up,
oh.
and he's just red in the head. He went all to hell,
Oh.
and then he ended up in a playoff with Fuzzy and. Remember Fuzzy waving the towel that he'd lost the match, and then that was to Norman, though, right? Norman was the third guy in that battle, right?
The year that I had it, 74, Hale wins it, and the next morning, as I opened my hotel door to leave, the across the hall hotel door opens to leave, and it was Hale Irwin. So I could have sat there all night getting a hell of a story had I known he was across the hall.
That's right. Well, he probably was drinking in there, too. Right?
I don't know.
Well, Joe had to be in bed by 9:30.
You and I hanging out with Hal years later at the Jewel. Right?
Oh, down in Lake City.
And he was just a charmer that day because he was trying to sell something.
Right.
He could be a little grumpy. Mm-hmm. But I was there at Medina when he made the putt. So.
Saddest moment in sports.
Mike Donald.
Mike Donald standing off to the side, shoulders slumped, knowing he'll never get that close again.
Yeah, and a guy who lived with Mom.
He lived with his mother in Florida.
Lived with Mom in Florida and was just a journeyman on the thing and had it won. We all thought so. That was the year that Curtis Strange was going for 3 in a row, and he lost about 30 pounds because of his nerves. He couldn't wear his pants.
Right.
Wow.
So, how about, speaking of nerves, nice job, Koepka, after shooting off your mouth about DJ only winning one major.
Koepka seems like a kind of a brat.
Yeah, he is. I think so. We used to be impressed by his muscles until we saw Man Mountain DeChambeau.
Mongo break driver.
That's right. But it was nice to spend some time sitting down watching golf on a funky golf course. I thought it was great. I hadn't done that on a Sunday in a long time.
No, and especially when the leaders don't go off till about 5. I love that.
4:40, yeah. It's you can do something. I didn't get the good full night's sleep though. I fell asleep on the couch watching TV, and I got knocked out off the couch at about 1:30 this morning. Man alive, there was. Plus,
I spent a lot of time last night watching that Lightning show.
Wow.
Woo-hoo.
And you got a little hail, did you?
We had no hail that I'm aware of.
I
bet we had 4 inches of rain.
Well, Chanhassen was supposed to have gotten 4 or 5 inches of rain.
My rain gauge said just under 4, but I'm west of Chanhassen by about 10 miles.
Too bad Richard Ricey isn't your neighbor.
Why is that?
Because after a rain like that, he would have went and emptied it out, the rain gauge, and then about 2-3 days later, when there was just a little tiny drizzle, he would have came over and filled her up. That's what he used to do to poor Abel Chapey. Because Abel was very proud of his rain gauge and very worried about what he was going to do in his garden. So the old man would get up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I did try to
empty it out or fill it up, one of the two.
I did try pulling something off because we've got one of those kids' swing sets in the backyard in which the oldest boy doesn't really have much interest in anymore. Yes. But it's right in the way of where I want to cut the grass and everything. Sure. So I'm trying to find reasons to convince her to get rid of it. And she texted me because she's out of town with the fellas visiting some family. She said, "How bad was the storm?" And I responded, "Oh, you should see the swing set. It's really
you
bad."
Tell him the junk man came to get it already.
You can't take a kid's swing set. What's wrong with you?
I'm gonna wait a little bit.
Oh, Leland's old. He doesn't like swing sets anymore.
He's already interested in girls anyway. He's done with the swing set.
He's gonna be a hound.
Oh, he is gonna be trouble.
I'll never forget that kid.
Glint in his eye.
Wasn't that the kid we put in the race, the baby race?
Oh, yeah.
He started going the other way and going around in circles. Had no idea what the hell he was doing.
Yeah, he was kind of not really the showman he is today because he sat there, looked at the crowd, and went, "What am I supposed to do here?"
Yeah,
and then he took off the wrong way.
That's entertainment. That's memorable. He just does what he's supposed to do. You're not going to remember.
That's true.
So this was the first year you weren't at the fair since when?
1993.
And this would have been one.
93 was the first year I was at the fair. So this is the first time since 92.
Wow.
And this would have been a nice late starter, too. I'm always big on late Labor Day. I like late Labor Day, and this is as late as it gets, right?
Yeah.
7th. So,
Pat, I grew to love it. I'm going to miss it. It became an important part of the whole Garage Logic theme over the years.
Plus, you don't get to see Big John now.
Yeah.
Big John, Ingy.
Pat, what would be your...
How's Ingy doing health-wise?
He's good.
He's doing
pretty
good.
good.
He's solid.
He emails us once in a while.
He had a milestone anniversary at the post office recently, so
really?
he's
5
happy.
weeks.
Yeah, 5 weeks. He's delivered mail for 5 weeks.
Pat, what would be your top 5 State Fair memories in doing all those broadcasts at the Great Minnesota Get Together?
Oh, my number one all-time favorite is that back when we had the previous location, and Joe and I it was a Monday. We were there on Saturdays that year, and we'd gotten a little tired of it by then. So we closed the curtain in front and then charged, 50 cents for people to come and look through this thing.
See if we were there.
We were going to give the money to that charity that we always gave it to.
MD, I think.
Yeah, MD. Yeah, if you want a buck or make a donation, and you can look in the window to see
if we're here.
A lot of them was the early years when the equipment didn't work. And, and it was great. And,
it was a house trailer or something.
Yeah, it was a house trailer. You could have tipped it over with it. Last night's wind would have took that baby over in the grandstand.
I think the biggest wool that was pulled over on people's eyes is the bungee jump. Remember when we recorded?
Oh, yeah.
Did I really bungee jump or not?
Yeah.
And we went in the back, and I recorded a jump as if to go, and Joe is opening and closing doors.
But we did get you on the
ejector. I did do the ejector seat with the wife.
We got you on that one. Yeah.
And that was at night when they didn't have lights up there. So it's just basically I bought the video, and it's a black picture of me going, holy sh-. You can't see anything.
Yeah, we got you.
I was on that
we
one.
got you on those ones. I did enjoy the when the Winter Carnival guys came over. And
the Volks?
They threw me up in the air, and it was an argument as to whether I had left the vinyl or not.
No, and you know what you remember?
I actually attained air, right?
I have air.
Those guys,
I got air.
Those guys were all red-faced, strong. They looked like they
That
were
was the
collapse.
bounce. That was the bouncing team. That wasn't the
bouncing
bouncing
team.
The Winter Carnival.
Yeah, the Winter Carnival bouncing team.
That was the Saturday morning.
Hey, the early years of the Baby with a Walk, though, were phenomenal, Reavers.
It's hard to top.
We had 100 and some people with their babies there to be abused.
And I occasionally still meet somebody who said, I went through the line. And they're now like obstetricians, lawyers.
That gives you a real sign. That,
was McLaren the first?
No, she wasn't the first.
But she got foghorn.
She got foghorn.
Did she inspire it then? I mean,
I don't know if we had it. Well, she's 24 now, so that could have been.
Yeah.
I don't think she was the first, but she may have been.
Do you remember? Remember how normally we would have foghorned the name Savannah?
Oh, yeah, right.
We ended up saying that is the most wonderful name.
Savannah and Wheeler. These are great names, man.
Oh, yeah, you're in. You got that. No problem.
That's like when.
Those are Ginny's kids.
That's like when I was doing the Saturday show one day and you weren't there and went off on our tirade about. How come the deficit was a big problem when Clinton was the president, but now we don't care about the deficit? And that was going on, and and we got a call from Rick, and Rick was going to explain this to me, and Rookie with his mouth just said, "It's Mr. Hubbard."
So in the IFB,
I said, "Yes, Rick." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And he talked for a minute, and I said, "That makes perfect sense. I guess you explained it to me. Thank you very much."
Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it.
One thing that allowed us to stay so long is cowardice.
Yeah.
That's right.
Backing down, right?
That's right.
Who was
Changing our mind allowed us to stay there a lot.
Oh, remember the April Fools when the Vikings were moving and people threatened to come and kick your asses?
Wait,
I don't know this story.
God. I thought we were going to die.
We had the lawyer on. It was April Fool's Day. It was a Saturday.
And I said to this guy, a friend of mine, I said, look, you're going to be a guy.
Well, I was saying my friend Buck Harvey, who was a real guy from the San Antonio newspaper, was reporting that the Vikings would be moving to San Antonio at the end of the season.
Yep.
And Red was taking them home.
Right.
And they were calling downstairs from the newsroom.
Right.
To they were going to come up and get
Film
the
it in.
play. And
But callers were furious.
And we got Dawson to call in, Dawson to call in.
He was Buck Harvey.
He was perfect as Buck Harvey. And sold it Perfect.
Yeah.
And then we took a break. Well, there it was like 10 to 12. We took, or 10 to 11. We took the break and said, "Well, there you got it." I mean, Buck. I know Buck. Buck and I have been friends for years. He wouldn't lie about this.
Yeah. Pat, my favorite change in our mind story, because we did that a lot.
But we should point out that some guy called.
Physically threatened.
Some guy called.
Yeah.
And he said, "If this isn't
and he
for real."
sounded aggressive, and he said, "If this isn't for real, I'm going to come down here and beat the crap out of you two guys." And we came back at 11 and said, "Okay, it's April Fool's
We're
Day."
caving.
Remember, no name shall be used
Yeah.
because it was all in good fun. There was an anchor woman,
Yes.
5,
Yes.
who would occasionally boast of her daughter's wardrobe. That their kid had a real fancy jacket or a coat or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And so we lit up into that and had a lot of fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing you know, there's a car pulls up, and it's our superiors at the highest level instructing us to never say anything again about anybody on TV. And we said, we will absolutely never say another
We were
word.
just thinking that.
Yeah,
We were
we
just
were just
thinking we
saying-
shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. You know, we thought it was funny, but in retrospect, it
You're
was really
right. That
tasteless.
wasn't funny.
That was not funny.
And you're right.
How
You're
do you
right.
think that poor little girl might feel? We would just feel bad. Would you like us to send her cash?
Who else did you back down with? Was it Ray Miller?
Ray Miller.
You're ripping him left and right, and then
Then he gets on the air and we're
called
going,
up and we said, "Ray, well, you know,
How you doing, Ray?"
Ray? Good luck to you."
what did
maybe
Quillisi do to us one time? Did he drop the F-bomb on the air?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Because he was on, and then we
the
played the either Bill
the
Quillisi.
Larry King call.
Yeah. And he said,
my Bill.
yeah,
Bill Quillisi.
he thought it was funnier than hell, but he threw out an F-bomb.
Yeah.
By the way, yesterday, Justin Thomas, that was a pretty good F-bomb.
Oh, I heard that.
That
yeah.
was a good one.
Yeah.
I said to Reavers earlier
That was
today.
a good one.
He says, "You gotta be bleeping kidding me."
Yeah, yeah.
And I said, "I only heard that on a golf course not more than 8,000 times, right?
Right.
You gotta be bleeping kidding me is the
Right.
battle cry of bad golf, right?
Right.
There.
But when he said it, it really had to be bad.
Oh yeah, and and they didn't make a big deal out of it.
No.
They probably have been told, if you make a big deal out of it, then everybody's going to say, "Okay, what'd they say? We're going to call up." And
they're not, the players aren't mic'd. That was just picked up by the boom mic that was walking along with them.
oh yeah,
Right,
But
yeah.
he hit about 3, 4. Tiger back in the day would have called them all lip outs. None of them were really lip outs, but they were like on the edge. And about the third one, the putt went the way he didn't want to. And
I'm going to tell you something. You haven't played golf this year, have you?
no, got it.
Okay.
Great.
Among the COVID rules
Okay.
is the pin stays in the cup,
Yep.
but it's a false cup with a piece of wood, a circular piece of wood, so that if you sink a putt, the ball literally does not go down into a hole. It just
Okay.
rings around this hunk of
And
wood.
so you just go down and grab it with your
No, you can't.
fingernails,
I'm
right?
telling you, I'm insisting that the ball is, and I'm not making this up, the ball is being deprived of any gravitational pull into the
okay.
hole. I'm not making this up. And so I've had, I'm not that good of a putter, but I've had 20 putts this year that were in that little
Yes.
round circle of wood and then zipped right out of the cup again. And I'm lobbying people to change the rules that if that ball touches the cup, it's in.
Yes, I would agree with that because
It's like
when it
playing on
starts-
Pluto. There's no
when
gravity.
it starts circling, it goes down. You know, when it starts,
That's right.
When it starts circling, it's going to go down. But if there's no circling to be done, it's not going to go down.
I'm not the chat room type, but I bet I could go on some golf sites where guys talk about golf. I bet that's a topic. I can't be the only guy who thinks this.
I got to ask you, when you play golf, and that's the rule that you cannot either touch the flag
Right.
or reach down and get a ball out of the hole, the cup. Do you feel much safer with that?
No, I don't.
I don't think that's. I don't think that's the tiebreaker.
The older
You know,
COVID
it's-
rules are no benches, no water, no rakes in the trap, and this dreaded cup arrangement that is depriving hacks like me of sunk putts.
It's like me and finding a reward in heaven. Mm-hmm. I always say, eating fish on Friday is not going to be the tiebreaker.
I don't think it will be.
When you get it. Yes, you've lived a very chaste life. You contributed to charities. You helped mankind, but you ate beef on Fridays during Lent.
Right.
8 times. Purgatory for you, buddy. I don't think that's the way it's going to work.
I don't think so either.
No,
I don't think so either.
I think the tiebreaker is going to be bigger than that one.
That all stems back to some pope in the Middle Ages had a brother who was a fisherman.
Yeah, that's right, a fishmonger. That's
Yeah.
right.
Got to eat fish. Get my brother some business.
That's right, the whole deal.
All right, we went back and found.
Thank God Mary Helen isn't alive to hear
Right.
that one. Else
Right.
I'd be in
You'd be
trouble.
getting a call right
Oh, yeah.
now.
Or speaking of somebody showing up to the studio.
Right.
Yeah.
We found Bill Quillisi calling Larry King
Okay.
on YouTube here.
Look back at it.
What?
Bill Quillisi here. How are you?
Hey, babe, how are you?
Hey, I confused you the last time I called you. I said I was the imaginary brother of Frank Quillisi who used to play for the Twins.
I don't remember. What are you now?
I'm still his imaginary brother.
Therefore, you can't be on the phone.
Well, I have though, Larry. Hey,
Well, how do you wait a minute, sir. Now, hold on. It's very important, and I'm going to treat it importantly. If you are imaginary, how can you be talking?
I could, well, you see, I eat a lot of lead chips, Larry, and it kind of gets to me. Have you ever had any?
Any what?
Lead chips. I peel them off my wall in my basement.
Oh, I do that all the time.
And it really makes me psycho.
Yeah, most people do that, though. Don't think you're alone.
I was thinking of going to Washington and signing you to a contract to appear on the Sunday night show with Bernie Meltzer.
If you're a psycho, come to Washington. You'll be right at home there, too.
You can, oh, really? You can,
Where do you live, sir?
Pittsburgh.
What home?
It's kind of a psycho ward, but I got out.
Where? You're a patient, obviously. Where?
I'm talking about the show, Larry. The Bernard Meltzer, Larry King Hour.
Sir?
Can't
You
stop
can be
laughing.
whimsical. Bernard can recite poetry. It'll be great.
Not bad. Big.
Perfect.
Oh, Lord.
I forgot how long Larry carried it on. Larry was great, wasn't he?
Oh,
Larry?
it's wonderful.
Larry
Wonderful.
was
Could you imagine the number of goofballs that called
Yeah.
into his show?
But can you imagine how good a radio show had to be to come up with that? Some guy that felt
Quality.
felt that he deserved to call in and say it was Frank Willisi's imaginary brother, Bill.
Right.
Did we ever meet Bill?
I don't think so.
I can't remember if we met Bill or not. We must have met Bill.
Maybe
somewhere.
But
showed
that-
up at the fair, maybe.
But that means he had been on Larry King prior to that call, I believe, because he said, "Remember when I
Yes.
called and told you
I do
Yeah.
not
that I
have
was
that one.
yeah,
that I was
that was just a little one. I think he
Frank's
hung up on-
imaginary brother."
Yeah, this time Larry. Hey, Larry's still with us, isn't he?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So you don't
Larry and his 8 wives, or I think it's 8, isn't it?
I don't-
Larry
7 or 8
is-
wives. Yeah, he got to be 95.
So you don't think out there somewhere in the ether, Rocco Baldelli has a crazy brother, imaginary brother
this is-
somewhere?
No.
Yeah, but you'd have to be Rocco's brother and say, "Hello, I am Rocco's brother, and I support all things in Minnesota, and we're doing fine here as a country." And
Here we go. He is 86.
really,
Spouses: Frida Miller, 52 to 53, annulled. Annette K, 61, divorce in 61. Aline Aiken, 61, divorce in 63. Mickey Stutfin, 63 to 67.
Stuffing.
Went back to Aline Aikens,
He married her
67
again?
to 72. He
The
went
divorce
back.
didn't work out.
he says,
Sharon Lepore, 76 to 83. Julie Alexander, 89 to 92. And Sean Southwick, 97 to September of 2019. He's got 5 kids.
"Okay, really," and. So he had a gap there, though, of about 15 years then, from 73 to
He
87.
played the town 83 to 89. He was a
83
player.
to 89,
Yep.
okay.
He was rocking.
Eight total if you count the one twice then.
Right.
Okay, I thought this one and him hated each other though, but he's still married to her, huh? Or no,
well,
they
2019.
divorced last year. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was a very acrimonious divorce. I'll tell you though, when that first, before he ever got on TV or anything, when that first was playing on KSTP at night at midnight, I used to listen to it all the time. And then Art came along, late night radio on KSTP AM 1500 was the best.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Art Bell, west of the Rockies.
Yeah, and Larry from what, 10 to 1 maybe? Or
Well, we had
9?
Tom Snyder too.
Yeah.
And then Bruce Edwards with the Money Talk.
Yeah. But
It was always entertaining. Sadly,
but
Jesse
Larry
Raphael
was like night, and then Art Bell followed Larry.
was overnight and midnight to 3 or something like that.
How many times, Rook, when you were running those shows at night, would you nod off a little bit at the board?
Art could not off. Art convinced Bob Davis to drive around the country in 1999 waiting for the world to end.
There was.
Where is Davis?
He's cruising in a refurbished ambulance.
And doing
He
a
sleeps in the
national
ambulance
podcast?
in a hammock.
Yeah.
And he's got a coffee machine. He's got a good podcast. Him and Mishke go around the world, or not around the world, around the country to find
Or are they
stuff.
not
They're
traveling together?
They're not
Okay.
together, but they're both. It's the same concept. Mishke will go in somebody's house in Oklahoma. He found sitting on the porch, not wondering if he's going to get chopped up or shot. But he draws stuff out of these characters. That's fantastic. It's I don't remember the Mishke
The
Broad
Mishke Roadshow.
Roadshow. Yeah. Okay. And the Bob Davis is the Bob Davis podcast.
I got to go.
I love Davis. I got my favorite Davis still is I'm telling about the Ryder Cup for 12 minutes, and he says, "Is that soccer?"
Are we talking about soccer?
Yeah, he didn't know his sports.
No, he knew less than Barber ever thought of not knowing. So, all right, you better go.
Well, aren't you?
Well,
I
he's
gotta
going to tell
read-
the
I
fine
gotta read
folks
Josh.
of Monday Night Sports Talk who the sponsor is here to Monday Night Sports Talk
All right, gang.
podcast. See you, bro. See you,
I'll see you, bros.
All righty, buddy. Let's see. We're
And
starting.
cue the talent.
We're starting
You're
right
out
now.
of here.
Here we go. Josh Arnold talking points for Ricey endorsement. Oh wait,
Yeah,
no,
you don't need to read that part.
That's not the part.
That's not the part you need.
See, that was a joke.
That
folks.
you knew that.
was
No,
a
you know what
joke.
you're doing? You're setting it up. You're
Yeah,
setting the
yes,
stage.
Exactly.
If you have questions about your retirement savings, you want to work with a person that knows what the hell is going on.
That's right.
Do what I did and work with a person that I know you can trust. This is Ricey, and you need to see my guy Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, now.
When?
Now.
No.
Before Trump gets his head on Mount Rushmore. You got to see him before then. Especially with what is going on in the markets today. You need Josh's straight talk, not sugar-coated advice. Sit down with Josh for a no-cost, no-obligation, 48-minute consultation to review your investments, including your IRA and 401k. You can learn how you can benefit from Josh Arnold's focused approach. Call Josh now at 952-925-5608. Let me repeat that for you. 952-925-5608. Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk.